the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
The testimonies also over the Justice Poor Committee during the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono Epie and Nani Ayikoi Otu, the legal lead counsel for Gertrude Tokono. Now lawyer Paul Adomocho and Sana Wabeshe ni Good Evening Ghana show no decided so obi play the interactions also between the lead legal counsel of Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono and Samson Ladi. Samson Ladi generally not already or pushy the agenda of Justice Poor Committee a really one-sided theory and analysis of the removal of the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono. Now so ni Ayikoi Otu, the lead counsel of Gertrude Tokono, the ladyship Gertrude Tokono, and Triamanokra, because some of the legal arguments or the buy and say audit committee or my audit of judicial council I share travel arrangements of chief justices and judges. I approve say a choir chief justice for so a two coin called Tanzania and United States of America no na inform bra a ban is saying obitimi generating a new report because the chief justice no form and based on that no ye jinaso as chief justice of the Republic of Ghana could see the interaction between ni Ayikoi Otu and Samson Ladia lawyer Paul Adomocho no and they share as here Good Evening Ghana and then we yenkotie nkomodia ekoso
actually happened that potentially one of those who's spending could have brought disturbed the ongoing process, the process that was ongoing.
We are talking about fairness and procedure. I thought you said that they teach law and ethics. Here is somebody who tells us that he is going to adjourn the other petitions Sunday and will call us when they are ready. He goes to the president, informs the president that indeed the people asked for adjournment and we have adjourned the case to the 15th of September. We will be going back. Why was that? Where is that indecent haste to rush and go and present the petition when you have told everybody there are two more that you intend to deal with? What is the indecent haste for? What are they trying to prevent? The ECOWAS decision or other decisions in the court? If somebody doesn't want to speculate, we will speculate. If somebody doesn't want to speculate, we will go ahead and speculate. Why? What is the rush for? What is the rush for? 1 week. As she herself put it, what would it have spoiled? If you give us 1 more week to wind up, and again, they didn't even say we are not going to grant you, so go and file immediately. What they said was that, we have all been practitioners. And I'm quoting Gabriel Plummer. We have all been practitioners before. The fact that you are asked to file by a certain date, if you cannot meet it, doesn't mean that you cannot file. So just file it within a reasonable time. And then we would decide. So you are saying that there's nothing wrong when you listen to only one side. You listen to, now you are quoting things from their submission. Have you seen ours to also see what responses we gave to those things? Have you seen ours?
I would love to see that. See yours.
This is just most unfair. And then everything they have done is wrong. And they are just in the hurry.
But I am not the committee. I decided myself to subject myself through 106 pages of address to read, to inform myself of the one side. But you see what addresses we cannot do is they deal with facts, even though we can be selective about the facts. So there are facts in the address that you cannot impugn. I would like to read yours.
My brother, I've been in this job
I will lay hands on it.
40 years. I've been in this job for over 40 years. I started as a criminal lawyer and I changed because I realized that we had a right to address the court when the police prosecutors did not have the right. And I felt that what we were doing was unfair. So I left criminal practice and went to civil. You can put all sorts of things in it one way. That is what you are saying. It is when you hear the other side that you find that somebody is twisting the facts. So the mere fact that somebody has written an address doesn't mean that.
Okay, so let's not make this the subject, even though I made a small reference from it. Let's not make it the subject. And I'm careful also because when I read an address and I'm seeing records, quotations, because they are sending to the committee, they cannot, quote what does not exist in the record because it will be found out. And we don't do that as lawyers anyway. So my question...
Lawyers address the court and they put all sorts of things there because they know the prosecutors cannot address. I'm speaking from experience.
Okay. So my question now to you is that, what happens now? But first of all, you say that you agree with Sophia Kufu that, for example, the financial impropriety leg, it was not such a weighty matter that should lead to the removal of a Chief Justice, right?
I didn't say so. You see what? You also purport to be quoting me. I did not say so. Let me take you through the process that I took them through, including those who sat at the committee. Domelovo was not there. We asked them, was there an audit? And they said yes. Did the audit raise queries? They said yes. Did the spending officer respond to those audit queries? They said yes. Was there a final management letter? They said yes. Did the final management letter refer to any setting? They said no. I have a copy of the final. If you say you have the proceedings, look at it. Audit service management letter on the accounts of the judiciary for JS Judicial Service for the period 1st January 2023 to 31st December 2023, dated 30th July 2024. If you claim you have the full record, read it for yourself and tell me where in this management letter they said they have found anything wrong. The auditors who did the work.
Okay, so your point is that if the audit did not flag the issue, there should not be an issue. That's your point.
It means they agreed with the explanation given to them, including the travel policy and all. They agreed with it and they never came back to it.
Okay.
It was never raised again.
Okay.
I said, I have a copy here.
Yeah, I get that. Nobody is disputing anything you have said.
Yeah, and see whether you can find anything on that.
My question to you...
Going to treat an individual.
Yeah. So it's not in controversy, so let's not get to that. My question to you is, your point is that if the auditors did not flag misuse, unlawful, expense or unconstitutional expense, nobody should raise it again.
I am saying that when the auditors come, they look at the record. When they have issues, they raise the issues. Then they give it to the management, whoever it is who is responsible, especially the spending officer. And they ask you for your explanation. Perhaps the thing is there. They didn't see it. So then you explain to them. And once you explain to them, that ends the matter. So the fact that it was even raised in a query does not mean that is the end of the matter, because you are now given the opportunity to respond. Something you have experienced, don't you? So having responded, and they left it in the final management letter, pointing out the areas they find the judicial service didn't do well, and this one did not come out. How do you turn around? And this committee, this report was before you. I specifically asked Domelovo, who was sitting there, whether this is not a procedure. He agreed. I think he even said there's a difference between audit observation and audit query. But these days they talk about audit or observation or something.
All right.
This is what happened, and the report is there. So where is this thing coming from?
Right.
Where is it coming
So let's put the committee in perspective. From the letter to the Chief Justice, which said, in the opinion of the committee, quote, in the opinion of the committee, the travel expenses which the Chief Justice heaped on the judicial service when she traveled on holidays in September 2023, first to Tanzania with her husband and second to the United States of America with her daughter, together with the payment of per diem to the spouse and daughter of the Chief Justice, constitute unlawful expenditure of public funds. It cannot be justified in law or policy. Those acts constitute avoidable and reckless dissipation of public funds and, in the view of the committee,
Lucidchart makes intelligent diagramming easy.
to have been occasioned by the overall head of the judiciary and the judicial service, whose duty it is to guard public resources allocated by the government, is caught within the spectrum of stated misbehavior. So they are saying that there's no policy allowing this. The Constitution also does not allow it. So it's both unlawful, it is also unconstitutional. You are saying once the auditor didn't make any such claims, a committee like this cannot be heard to say what they said.
Please don't trivialize it. One of the members of the Judicial Council happened to be Gabriel Scott Puama. He had always been there with them, taking all the decisions, including travel policy. I explained the last time I was here that because of the judicial independence, they also granted them financial independence and asked them to work according to what they think is best to secure their independence. And therefore, they told them that it is only the Judicial Council that can determine anything which is pertaining to them and not necessarily the executive. Not necessarily the executive. So the travel policy was something that came out from the Judicial Council where Puama has been serving. And he knows that there was this travel policy which allows the Chief Justice to travel with a person of her own choice, and that whatever, whatever per diem is given to her, the person is traveling with will be given half. These are no stories. They are all there. The Chief Justice's appointment letter stated clearly that she will be entitled to 2 vacations in a year. And she can choose wherever she wants to go. Her duty is to tell them that this is vacation period, I intend to travel. Then the spending officers will work, buy the tickets, do all the protocols, and then give her whatever her entitlements are. And then she uses that to travel. I am challenging them. Let anybody bring a document where the Judicial Service or Secretary said, these are your entitlements. And then the Chief Justice said, no, I will not accept it. Give me this rather. Nothing of the sort happened. And I'm saying I've gone through it twice. Okay. As a Minister of Justice and Attorney General and as a High Commissioner. When I'm to travel, I don't get involved. All I tell them is that I need to travel. They work it and bring it to me. Okay. Which is why you have a spending officer who is held liable. How did they change it? With Domelovo sitting there, now saying that she being the overall head. Where has it happened before? That the President of the Republic is being held responsible for the acts of the chief directors of the various ministries because he's the overall executive. Where has it happened before?
The central point that was raised by the petitioner is that in that travel policy, it provides a limit. And it says with an emphasis that the CJ can travel with the security alone. For foreign travel, the security alone. Then they even impeach the policy by saying that as an Article 71 office holder, it is the president, or is it the other way? No. No, when committees are set up to determine emoluments, yes, it is the committee set up under Article 71 that determines what you are entitled to. Yeah. And anything beyond that is unconstitutional, is unlawful. Yeah. And then they quote the CJ herself in at least 2 or 3 different cases where she insists that anything beyond what has been determined by the president or parliament, president for parliament, parliament for president, and so on, is unconstitutional. And it is the reason when Abronye took the case to the Supreme Court about the spouses of presidents and vice presidents getting paid as ministers, the CJ led in that decision and said, you won't even allow, even if Parliament was approving it that way, it will not be allowed. You don't agree with them that you can't fault the committee on this?
We fault the committee. Patricia brought a document on travel policy and per diems. In that travel policy, they said the people should be public officers. Then there was a footnote in which they stated that these things we are brought do not affect the judiciary because they are an independent body. He brought it and we pointed that out to him. They were all sitting in the committee, we tendered it. Okay. In fact, we allowed it to be tendered and brought it out to show them that it does not apply to the judiciary. Yeah. They stated clearly that their terms and conditions and all those purposes of office should be determined by the council. And I'm saying Puama was a member of the council.
Okay. The committee, as we also understand through the letter, found, quote, it said, the committee states without fear or favor that the Chief Justice unjustifiably breached the provisions of Article 296A and B of the Constitution, 1992, in the way and manner that she transferred Mr. Baden. Her conduct amounted to misbehavior. The committee is of the view that the conduct of the respondent, that's the Chief Justice, falls squarely in the category of conduct described as stated misbehavior under Article 146 Clause 1 of the Constitution. The committee is of the opinion that the action and conduct of the Chief Justice falls within the meaning and category of stated misbehavior as provided under the article of the Constitution. They go ahead to talk about the appointment of justices for the Supreme Court and the manner in which she is accused of initiating it from the back door with the president instead of the known procedure with engagement of academia and all other parties, and say these are grave enough to warrant her removal. You disagree with them on these ones too?
You haven't been a head of department before? You haven't transferred anybody? Or where you are working, you have not seen any transfers happening? When does transfer become stated misbehavior? If you are working as IT man in charge of a justice system, and a judge complains that somebody has tampered with records, and you go into the matter, you know what happened? They brought in the National Signals Bureau. They went into the matter and were satisfied that it was this particular gentleman who should be held responsible, because he came and took away the hard copy to his office and went and tampered with it. And when the Signals Bureau went into it, their conclusion was that indeed the date in terms of time slots that is given as the date that he came and took it were all lies, and that he tampered with the record. They put the fault squarely on him. The Chief Justice only set up a committee of inquiry to go into the matter as she was willing to do. At the end of the day, the committee came to the conclusion that there was sufficient evidence before the committee that at the close of each day, those recorders, when they are not at the in the judicial service premises at the time, the court where they operate, then they share their log out credentials with others to log out for them. The committee therefore came to the conclusion that for a grave matter such as this, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. At the end of the day, the Chief Justice agreed that you should be reinstated, except that he has decided to transfer you. What is wrong with that? Where is it defined as a stated misbehavior in the Constitution? What you are listening, if this woman was your sister, and she only transferred somebody, and you are telling me that amounts to stated misbehavior.
I need to get to my other panelists, but it was important to engage. Hold on.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just proceed this way. So you see that the contention was that Mr. Bading by the committee was not found to have done wrong, so he was recommended to be reinstated. And then for someone who is known to do IT work, suddenly is being transferred to do things that he was clueless about, and so on and so forth, sounded like a punishment.
It's not true.
Please hold on.
It was not true.